Hey guys, so with Thanksgiving just a few days away and really into the heart of fall, I really wanted to do a beautiful fall look for you guys using golds, really beautiful cranberries as well as green. If that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, please continue watching. So the first step in this look is going to be definitely priming the eye. I think this is the most important step of this look, only because we're going to be using so many different eyeshadows that without priming that eye, it's probably going to have a lot of fallout, or it's going to wear off kind of midway through the day. Y'all know this great little tube. This came with the smoked palette. This also comes with both naked palettes if you do have it. So I really, really love this stuff. And we're just going to need a little dot. Nothing too crazy by any means. I mean, look how tiny that is. And we're just going to blend that in into the eye and definitely into the crease. And then as well as the lower lash line, because we're going to be using a little bit of shadow and definitely eyeliner into those areas. So just make sure that you get the entire lid. Perfect. Our first eyeshadow that I'm going to use is something I think that's just absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite colors in this palette, and I'm going to be using the original Naked Urban Decay palette, and I'm going to be using the color Half Baked, which is right here, and it's this beautiful bright gold, this one right here, this beautiful bright gold, and I think this makes a difference in using a really basic, typical gold, only because it's a lot brighter. I want to definitely add it into the inner corner of the eye, and I think this is what also really makes the look. It really brightens up the eye, makes you look a lot more awake, especially since our other colors are so dark. This definitely makes a difference. So you're just going to take a nice little flat brush, this is the MAC 252 brush, and pack that onto the lid, just making sure that you really concentrate on the inner corner of the eye and just staying on the lid. We don't want to go into the crease. We don't want to get into a little higher. You don't want to get into the lower lash line. Just sticking right on the lid. And then again right here in the corner of the eye. Super simple. The next step we're going to be taking a brush that I also got from my Naked palette, and this is from the Naked 2 palette, and it's a dual-ended brush, but I'm going to be using the kind of the shader point, the shader side of this. It's a nice, really dome tip brush. If you have another brush just like this, I really suggest using this as well, but I really like using the dome tip only because it can really get into the crease and really shade out. So I'm going to be using my MAC's Twink. And this is a really pretty reddish brown tone, almost like a copper tone to this look. I really love this because it really reminds me of fall. I think that these colors really paired together really remind me of fall, but this one in specific, only because it's really nice and deep. But we are going to brighten that up with something else. So just take your little dome end and dip it right in. Tap the excess, and we're just going to concentrate right into the crease about halfway through. Don't move it too far up and don't move it too far down. We really want to keep it really defined within these colors. So we're just going to tap it right in and use a nice circular motion to apply it and then sweep back and forth. So circular motions to really get into the crease and sweep back and forth. And again, kind of stick about halfway. We don't want to get into the inner corner because that's why we brighten that up, because we don't want to darken it. So I'm just adding a little more. We're just going to tap right into the crease, circle it like you're buffing, and then sweep back and forth. Again, just concentrating on the crease. We want to make sure this is really nice and defined. We don't want to move it too far up. These colors are so dark that I'm going to be using that it's really going to deepen the eye a little too much, I think, and look just a little too dark. And the whole point is to brighten you up. So, again, just about halfway through, buffing motion, and then sweeping back and forth. Make sure that you don't get too far down. Just stick right into the corner. And that's it for that. Next step, to kind of brighten this dark, kind of reddish copper tone, I'm going to actually be using MAC's blush in copper tone, believe it or not. So this is a nice bright orange. I use this a lot during the summer. It is one of my favorite blushes for that because it's kind of a blush bronzer in one, but it has this beautiful orange tone to it. So I'm just going to again take that same side of the brush, which is right here, and just dip into the blush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to hit at the same point that I hit the crease with the Twinks. And this is going to give it more of a red tone, more of a bright tone, so it isn't so dark. So you can definitely tell it's more of a red in the crease. You don't need too much of that, but you can already tell a difference, I think, between the just Twinks by itself and then adding that copper tone in there. And this blends really well. So it's more of a matte blush, so it really pairs well, I think, with the shimmer in the Twinks. So taking a brush like this, it's a nice big fluffy brush. I tend to use the bigger ones for looks like this only because I think it gets a little more of the area. And I'm just going to kind of clamp it down like this and buff right in here, just to kind of blend that copper tone and the Twinks together. Perfect. Keep it real simple, and then you can kind of clean up right throughout here, kind of angle it up. And then last for the eyeshadow, I'm going to be using, this is a MAC eyeshadow sweetened counterparts. I don't know if they still make this. I actually received this from a friend, but I'm going to be using this green color right here. Now, if you don't have this quad, and in fact, if you don't even have the Naked palette and that Half Baked, L'Oreal makes a quad in, what is this color? In Landscape, and this has a really beautiful light color right here that's really similar to Half Baked. You can even mix the gold and the light, and then right here in the third color is this great green that would work just as well as using the Counterparts Duo. So I think I called it a quad earlier, but this is a duo because that's two. But anyway, I'm going to be using this green. And I'm just going to be using this brush, and this is from Sonia Kashuk, and I'm going to be just kind of adding that in there. And this is like a nice flat shader brush, but it's halfway through and it's really dense. This picks up this color really well, and I'm just going to be adding it to the outer corner of the eye right here. And this really adds to this fall element, this really autumn look that we're going for, because we've used the gold, we've used the red, and now we're using that really beautiful dark green. And this really gives it a nice three-dimensional look. I get a lot of compliments when I do my eyeshadow like this, only because it kind of makes you look at everything. It doesn't make you just look at the eye and the crease. You notice the key elements of the reddish and the really bright inner corner, and then this beautiful dark green on the outer corner. So this brush is really nice. It shades it in and it packs on really nicely. But again, we want to make sure we just hit the lid. We don't want to get into the crease. We want to make sure that each color is really nice and defined. Great. We want to take also a little bit of that green, pull into the lower lash line. That's why we primed the lower lash line. So you're just going to hit right here and go about halfway through. Again, we don't want to add to that inner corner because we want to keep it really nice and bright. So I'm just going to swoop that in. As for eyeliner, again, I don't want to use anything really dark and heavy. I want to use something really nice and bright and more of a brown tone. So I'm going to be using a really nice eyeliner. And this is the MAC's Icol and Teddy. And if y'all haven't used this before, it is the most beautiful brown that I think I've ever used really for my eyes. It has a really nice gold tone to it with a little bit of shimmer. And for brown eyes, it's absolutely phenomenal. It really brightens up the eye. It's a really natural look. So we're just going to be adding that to the upper lash line, as well as about halfway into the lower lash line. We're not going to add a wingtip to it. We're not going to do anything crazy because, again, the eye is really dramatic. So we're just going to be adding that right and into the upper eyeliner, or eyeline. And then right into the lower lash line. Right over that green we just added. It's going to add this really, again, nice dynamic look to the whole eyes. So that's it for that. And then we're just going to finish off with my L'Oreal Voluminous Full Definition Mascara. And I like using this mascara in specific only because it really defines the lashes and it still leaves the eyeshadow looking really nice and defined as well. It doesn't make it look too smoked out. It makes them look really nice and long, and you can see everything that we just did. So we just did all that work. We don't want to definitely cover it up. So, and that is it for eyes. To finish off this look, I'm going to be using the Tarte Mineral Bronzer, and this is in Park Avenue Princess, and it's this really nice deep bronze. I'm not going to use any blush for this look, only because the eyes are so intense. I don't want to overdo it by using a lot of blush, so I'm just going to be using this nice soft brush by EcoTools and hitting right into the contours of my cheeks. And then defining right into the hairline, as well as a little bit on my nose and on my chin. These are the natural places that the sun's going to hit. So you can already tell that it's definitely streamlined my face. And then as for lips, again, keeping it really simple. We don't want to overdo it with the lip products by any means and take away from the eyes. So I'm going to be using my L'Oreal and Ferris Nude. And this is one of my favorite colors. And it's this beautiful nude, almost matte, but it's really conditioning and moisturizing, but it's not too light, I think. It has a nice pink tone to it. And then finishing off with a little bit of gloss when I have a little bit of shine. This is Urban Decay's Lip Junkie in Midnight Cowboy, and I'm just going to add a little to the bottom lip, and then spread, and then a little bit at the top. And that is it. Flip up your hair and you are ready to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. I know that I did. This is by far one of my favorite looks that I've ever done for you guys. Again, you can always find me on Instagram and Twitter at LuckieEckie, LuckieEcke. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button right up at top, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much.